Hey, family. Welcome. Mr. Frederick coming right back at you. Hope everyone's doing good today. Got a good message for you guys. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. Okay, today we are going to talk about they thought that you were dumb nice. ah, sounds funny, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. Sounds funny listening to it. However, this is real. This is real. People tend to think sometimes if you're kind-hearted, very giving, you wear that big heart on your sleeve, and they've had that. You got to think they've had that their whole life, the whole time they've known you. A lot of people, whether it's your friends, family, and they tend to let their guard down and think, that kindness makes you stupid. That means you're dumb. Oh, you really doing smiling? What are you doing? Laughing, and what are you doing helping me out? What are you doing? I mean, this is their logic. This is how they're thinking of all your gestures. What are you doing forgiving me? What are you doing giving me another chance? I guess, sometimes the wolf gets outsmarted by the sheep, or sometimes maybe the sheep is not really a sheep. You see, family, the human mind is very fascinating. It works in very mysterious ways, just like God. Some of the most intelligent people actually don't let you know how intelligent they are. What? They don't? Yes, family, they don't. Here's the reason. If someone knows, okay, I'm in a war, in the old 1700s, Napoleon days, when they fought back then, kind of like the Revolutionary War, their style was the brigades would line up and have their muskets, and they would get down on the knees, one row in front of the other, and they would fire. Okay? Reload their muskets, march another 10 yards. They lose maybe half of the front line, of course, because the other opposing armies are doing the same thing. And this was the fighting style of a time. It was considered brave to just fight straight up. Let your enemy see you and you shoot. If they hit you, hey, it is what it is. That was how they fought. Now, a lot of lives were lost by that strategy because it really was, it was very too apparent, too out in the open. I mean, easy to defeat you. And you've basically won by numbers. I have more numbers, and that's how they won. They had more soldiers, they had more guns, they had more bullets, and usually those were the armies that won at that time. Now, lo and behold, the Revolutionary War happened. Okay, so now you have the Native Americans, fighting, and you have the French and the Canadians and all of this kind of warfare, and that's where you see the marine warfare starts to come up, where they're hiding, they're camouflaging, they're hard to catch, they're in the woods, they're all over the place. They learned something from that. They learned that disguising, not letting your enemy know what you're doing. They learned espionage. They learned a lot of things around that time in warfare. And what you got to understand, family, that's called advancement. When you have weaponry that is not known, you have an advantage. Silly-minded people, well, let me say simple-minded people. Well, silly, simple, one and the same, really. They just see things as it is, and they say, oh, look at that nice little furry animal. Let me pick him up and pet him. That could be a skunk. That could be a porcupine. That could be any kind of animal. That could be a wolverine, a honey badger. You don't know. See, so the best thing to do is when someone's interacting with you, I don't care how long you know them, never underestimate them. Never get too comfortable and believe that you've gotten to a point where you can predict them and and you think that they're soft and it could be that they are just giving opportunities, sizing you up, seeing what you're about, and then they finally get to that one day when they say, you know what, that's it. Maybe you did something extremely disrespectful. And they knew the whole time, that you were underestimating them and inconsiderate and non-deserving. But maybe they were giving you grace. But then you did something that really, really pissed them off. Okay? You didn't know this because the whole time you're just doing things and you're just being egregious, and they're probably checking you, and maybe they don't have their boundaries in order. It could be some of their fault. But either way, once people change towards you, that's a time for you to reflect on yourself and say, what did I do? Let me evaluate my relationship with this person. How was I? Let me take some accountability. How did I deal with this person? And oftentimes when you become introspective like that, when you really look at yourself and you become reflective of your actions, you find answers. And you might see, wow, I didn't say happy birthday. I didn't greet this person. I didn't respect them. I didn't invite them to this event. You start to find, you peel an onion back and you see a lot of things that you did. They just didn't call you out. You see, everyone is not going to tell you every little thing that they find as an infringement upon their respect or their boundaries. Doesn't mean they're not saying it. They're just not saying it. So what you got to understand when you're dealing with people, especially highly intelligent people, they're not telling you every step of the way. Why should they? You could perform, you could put on, you could do whatever when someone's telling you every little step. Okay, now, say hello to me, call me. Okay, now, come on, stop it. So my point is that don't take people for granted. A lot of people know what you're doing. You have to be accountable in every relationship if you value them, or you lose them. So you weren't dumb. You were actually smarter than them. And now you compile the file of how they act when you give them your best. So why would a logical, rational, intelligent person give you anything more? They wouldn't. They already see what they get. So they found out. And so now they're shocked. Now they're saying to themselves, I'm the victim. You're attacking me. No, you're responding to the treatment that you've gotten. It's just that now you're holding them accountable. You have enough information and it's too much. You're not dealing with it anymore. You don't have to, family. They made their bed, they got to lay in it. So they thought you were dumb nice. Okay, a lot of people, human nature thinks if you're kind-hearted, if you're too nice, okay, you're stupid. Why are you doing this? I wouldn't do this for you. So that's pretty much what they're saying. But what they don't realize, you are a jewel. You're a gem. You're something to be appreciated, because most people don't extend that to you. But instead, they didn't. They went the opposite direction. So they lost you. And don't feel bad about it. No explanations needed. Your priorities have changed. You're not giving excuses. You're putting your respect above all things. And it should have been there in the first place. However, you might have been a person that just gave a whole lot of rope. It's okay. You took the rope back. Now, family, is very important that once you see their character and you understand that this is not good character, this is not a respectful individual, this is not a deserving individual of you, don't forget that. Because what's going to happen after all of this goes down and you take your power back and you're like, no more, done, stores closed, shops, gigs up. What's going to happen is you're going to find yourself elevating. And the reason is energy is very real, okay? So think of it like this. Say it was somebody you felt indebted to, felt guilty, or whatever you might have told yourself in your mind to give them too much grace, too much mercy. Because you can give too much at times, but you pulled it back, as you should. What's going to happen is you'll find yourself with a lot of energy. And that energy will propel you towards whatever you're trying to do. I don't care if it's working, your hobby, your goals, school, whatever you're trying to do. That's a lot of energy now you have, because you were giving energy to something and someone that was not giving you energy back. Energy is real. We live in a universe full of energy. So what happened to all that energy and all that, just thinking of someone, just putting them on your mind and saying, hey, I wonder how they're doing. Hey, I'm caring about them. Hey, I wonder. That's energy, family. You do not waste your energy on individuals that ain't wasting theirs on you. You got to serve them what they deserve. Check out my Serve Them What They Deserve video. That's very important. Because once you get back that energy, now you see yourself elevating in every phase of your life. It's a reason. You were throwing around dead weight. You were getting nothing back from these individuals. These individuals didn't deserve to be in anywhere near you. So all your hang-ups, whatever reason you were giving them that much mercy, that much grace, forgiveness, whatever, excuses, they didn't deserve none of that. So now that you take it back, you clearly see that these individuals don't deserve to be in your life. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you close the door for good. Possibly. A lot of them, yeah, you might. Considering on, the situation. I say situational basis. But honestly, your work is done. The ball's in their court. Because at this point, you've already seen what your work gets you. Your work gets you disrespected and not appreciated. So I don't care what type of relationship this is. I don't care if it's your lover, your family, your friend, your job. All of this is energy, family. When they think you're dumb nice, or you can't win, you can't have a mutual, respectful, relationship that's progressing and that allows you to expand and be your best self if you're not getting anything back. Relationships at their best are reciprocal. You do for me, you consider me, you care about me, same thing. I do the same for you. It can't be, you don't owe anyone anything that way to where they just sit back like the king and you just worship them. You just looking out for them. I don't care who it is, your child, your whoever. No, if they don't have the same feelings for you, they need to go. Now, of course, little kids, you can't do nothing with that. They're little kids. You try to hopefully raise them and teach them, or whatever interaction you have. You try to embark some of whatever your morals, your values, principles, depending on your access. You can only do what you can do. But at the age of adulthood, they are what they are. Now it's on them to learn. And I would implore anyone out there that does have grown children to, you're not doing them a justice if you present to them a false reality of the world. The world works in that way. You get what you give. There's no relationship that they will find as they get older that they will maintain and disrespect, not appreciate, and keep. That's positive, that they're not giving what they're getting. It just don't work. It's no way. It works like this. So me personally, I would be the best example for them. Sometimes, people follow the greatest leaders, lead by example. Like, hey, if they don't have what it takes, you got to pull yourself back. And this really applies for anything, a job that you're pouring too much into. And you're giving and you're coming up, you're going there sick and you're trying to do everything you could do. You're busting your butt. You're not getting a promotion. And you just see year after year. Might not even be that long, depending on who you are, how patient you are. Month after month, day after day. Still getting disrespected, not appreciated. Eventually, you're going to have a breaking point. A point where you have to either do something. You cannot sit any longer and take the mistreatment at that job. Now, it's on you depending on what your needs are at that time. But I would say, if you believe in yourself and you respect yourself enough to know that you don't like this situation, respect yourself enough to know you got to get out of the situation. They go together. So I think it's jobs, it's people, any situation in the world, because you gotta be first. You are first. Family, when you leave this world, this physical form, this three-dimensional existence, no one that you are interacting with is going with you. It's just you. All you got. You and God. And so with that being said, you owe no one anything. You owe yourself to do and be the best you can while you're here. And you can only do that when you start with what you allow. What you allow. Everything. How clean you keep your home. Okay? What comes out of your mouth. What are your thoughts? Places you go. What are you doing? What are you eating? What are you drinking? All of these things are a representation of how you feel about you. And as you do more and things add up, you will see the results. There's no other way around it. You'll see the sum results of what you've been doing. And that's why I do what I do. I am here to tell you that I've been the guy who gives it all, who drives miles for people that don't even say thank you or offer $1 worth of gas. And if you did ask them for something, they're going to look at you like you crazy. You see, but what I've come to find out is the personalities are so interesting, because you examine yourself and you realize, yeah, I am a big giver, but I'm also a big stopper. Like, you know, some people, they are extreme. They're just really extreme. Maybe they need more balance. Hey, but they are what they are at this point. So some people are extremely giving, but they can extremely take it back, because they're like, hey, and see, the thing about it is now they know what they get when they do that. So like I said, you'd be insane to continue to doing it. Now, that other person need to show you. And if they don't, what is your loss? You've already done it. Who cares what they think or what they say at this point? Because remember, they thought you were dumb nice. But you weren't. You were just giving some grace. And now you have all this documentation of their behavior over the time that you've known them. How they made you feel. And you could look at how your life is now, and you could look at how your life was then. You could look at how you feel now. You could remember how you felt then when they were around you. Family, there's no way it's better in the past. There's no way. Just don't work that way. That's what I say. A lot of times you have addition from subtraction. So, one thing they didn't understand is you're empty now. Can't go back. It is what it is. Ball's in their court. Like I said, it's up to your discretion how disgruntled you are or whatever. Not telling anybody what to do, but certainly examine that individual, because they've already shown you a lot. But last and not least, what they didn't understand is, because some people prey on individuals that they feel don't have any backup. This is a lot of individuals are predatory, okay? So here it is. They say, I'm going to do this because this person doesn't have all these friends. They don't have all this family. They don't have these people that love them. So I'm going to run roughshod on them. Who they got? I'm all you got. That's like a pimp, okay? Runaway, somebody, say one of his 304s run away or something, from home and got a bad home. And then the pimp catches her, like the old Whisper song, R.I.P. to Walter Scott from the Whispers, by the way. But one of my favorite groups, by the way. Olivia, the song they had, Olivia, the thing, got distracted on your way to grandmama's house. My voice getting a little better. Oh, wolf in sheep's clothing thing, in your way. Now she's lost and turned out. Olivia, lost and turned out. Just like that, lost and turned out. She run into, the story is, she get out there in little Red Riding Hood and run into the wolf, puts her on the street. And see, that pimp is telling that young lady that he's all she got. She don't have any family. He's manipulating her mind. See, so this is the same attitude these individuals are looking at you, like a predator, like a wolf. You don't have any team. You don't have anybody to help you. But what they didn't understand is you do. You got the greatest help in the world. You ever heard the expression, God bless a child who have his own? Remember, I always tell you guys, all these expressions, these sayings that have been around for hundreds of years. Understand, it's nothing new under the sun. These sayings have lasted because they ring true to this day. I don't care what season, I don't care what clothing is in style, I don't care what cars out, what mode of transportation, they still ring true. God bless the child has his own. God is your secret weapon. See, God gives you everything you need when you got the faith. You think something's missing? He can fill it in. He can fill a gap. And you'd be surprised what he fills the gap with. They don't know. You know. But you got to give yourself a chance to say, hey, this is what I deserve. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm about. And when I look back on myself, that was a huge part of me being the way I've always been. I've always been someone who stood up to authority figures If I felt I was in the right, I would stand up for myself. And I didn't really know at the time what it was, why I was that way, but now I understand clearly. I always knew I had God on my side because I felt I was in the right. And then I could walk because I was never alone. So sometimes when you think someone's alone, you don't realize they're not. They're not alone. Because a lot of times you can have somebody you think is with you and they're not with you. They're there in a physical form, but as soon as you turn your back, they're doing everything under the sun. They're doing everything under the sun, thinking that you don't know. But they don't know about God. And that's why you let them go. And when you're gone, family, you're gone. And they saying so, man, I thought I was getting over. See, now they lost you. And whatever they was playing around with on the side or whatever, guess what? That ain't want them. If that wanted them, that would have been a thing. So now they lost the main thing. They lost the side thing because he's just playing around. You know, they might play with him forever, but I mean, come on, they probably. Who wants that for the rest of their life? Maybe some people do. Who knows? However, they have nothing of substance. They're a joke. They're looking simple now. They're trying to find an answer, but they already had the answer. Do right by who gave you the most. And so many people aren't deserving of the most. And that's why I go back to saying they get served what they deserve. I've seen a lot, family. I've seen a lot come and I've seen a lot go. And that's always how it goes. You get served what you deserve. If you are an individual that your actions say, I deserve side pieces, you're going to have side pieces. If you're an individual that lives your life in a way to say, I deserve main course dishes, one main course dish, you're going to have that. But it all starts in how you move, how you look at yourself, and how you follow that up with your actions. So, remember, they thought you were dumb nice. Now they got to think twice. Peace.